I've worked with enough realtors to know we're motivated by one of two things. It's money. Mastering listings will help you make more money. If we're not motivated by money, it's time. Mastering listings and mastering the art of pricing them properly and actually getting them sold means we sell our listings efficiently. We're home with our families on the weekends. We don't need to work harder. We can work smarter. To start, we have to pre-qualify all the appointments at a very elite level. When I'm pre-qualifying an appointment, I'm almost looking at it like I'm playing detective. So is the person I'm speaking to actually planning on selling? When are they planning on selling? Do they have realistic price expectations? If I don't know their pricing expectations, I don't go on the appointment. So I do not accept when someone tells me, you're the expert, come over and let me know what the house is worth. I'll ask additional questions to ensure I know exactly what their price expectations are before I go see them. So I do this in a couple ways. One, while I'm qualifying them, I'll hop on Matrix, pull up some similar homes in the area that have sold recently and tell them there's a house across the street from yours and one around the corner. One sold for 700, the other sold for 690. Is that within the range of what you're looking for? If you ask that question, it's going to give you a pretty good idea of what their expectations are. Another one I use, so I'll look at Matrix, say I see that someone's home sold for 700,000. If they're pushing back saying you're the expert, I don't want to tell you, I'll ask them, if I was to sell your house between 500 and 600,000, would that be okay with you? If their house is worth 700, they'll gasp. They'll say, oh my God, don't even come over to my house if you want to sell my house at that price. And then I'll ask them again, what if I sold your house between 600 and 700,000? Would that be okay with you? Yeah, you're getting closer. Okay. Well, what are you thinking? Are you thinking between 6 and 650, or are you closer to 650 to 7? And they'll normally give you the information. The last thing I want to do is go over to someone's house when their house is worth 700 and they want $1 million for their house. It's not a good use of my time. I'd rather use that time to stay back at the office and prospect for people that are actually motivated to sell their home now at a reasonable price. The more you push during the pre-qual to get the information you want, the more likely you are to be prepared with the objections you'll face on the appointment. I wasn't always like this, but at this point in my career, when I pre-qual an appointment and I know that person's selling within a specific time frame, and I know they're reasonable with price expectations, when I'm driving to their house, I'm 100% confident I'm going to get the listing signed. Do I always get it signed? No. But in my head, my thought process is, why would this person not work with me? They're ready to sell in the next 3 months. Their price expectations are reasonable. I make the choice to meet them because of that, and I'm certain. If I wasn't certain, I wouldn't go to their house. It's a waste of my time. My first, say, 2 years of the business, I was about 60% sellers, 40% buyers. On the buy side, I found I could get away with being personable, fun, an enjoyable person to go shopping with, being enthusiastic, excited, putting a smile on my face. I could be show up as a golden retriever almost. And that was enough to get someone to convert and buy a house. On the listing side, that doesn't work. Yeah, it's important to be personable and build rapport quickly. But the biggest thing in my experience with sellers is just asking good questions and asking them in a methodical order. One thing to consider when we go through all of our scripts, they're just scripts. I don't just verbatim speak the script to people. I think we need to recognize people make their decisions not based on logic. They don't work with us because what we say makes sense. They will decide to work with us based on how we make them feel. One reason I spend so much time learning these scripts and mastering them is because when I show up, I want to actually be able to listen to the person. I was highly transactional my first couple of years in the business. And I would joke about this. It's not really that funny, but I would joke about it. I would sign a listing, come back to the office, and I wouldn't even know the person's name. Why was that? Because I wasn't actively listening. Have you guys ever been in a situation, and it's probably, if you're just starting out, it's probably a result of not truly knowing the scripts, situation where someone's talking to you, and you're too busy thinking about the next thing that's going to come out of your mouth to actually sit back and listen to them. By mastering the scripts, you can be at peace and just listen to what someone's saying.
Yes, I'm the boss.